the mission.
All right, let's talk about the mission of the VA for a while. You've had some issues with the VA as well, especially because they have a place in Butler as well.
Yeah, and
that has had issues.
Well, you know, we've made a commitment to our the men and women who've served us that we're going to take care of them as they go into their later years and as they have health issues. I think that we look at now, we said, have we really fulfilled that commitment? Now, the other side of it is taxpayers are funding all that, the health care, and we want to make sure that we're getting the best return on the investment for our taxpayers, for their dollars. Those dollars used to take care of our veterans, that's a pledge we have made, a pledge our veterans took when they went to serve, a pledge we made to them. They mean something. Pledges mean something. Some of the issues we're looking right now is, are we handling it the right way? Are we really taking care of these folks? And when you look at the logistics of it and how it's being done, says, my goodness, technology has advanced so far. We're really having trouble just getting people in for an appointment. They have to wait months. Now, that doesn't make sense to me. Now, I do know this. The people I've talked to in the VA are good people. And I don't want to paint everybody with the same brush. I think they're looking for strong leadership. That's what we have to get. People can get us out of this. We can do it with the technology we have, with the knowledge we have, with the way we can integrate data now and study it and analyze it. But certainly, offering those type of services has got to be critical, and we've got to fulfill our pledge to these folks.
That must be an area for bipartisan support. I mean, who can disagree with supporting our veterans and their and their health? I mean, do you find that a way to build alliances in Washington?
Yeah. Do you know what? I really find this, and unfortunately, we don't get to see it all the time. There is a great deal of concern on both sides of the aisle. It's not good versus evil. It's not the dark side versus the bright side. It's Americans coming to represent the people who elected them and doing what's in the best interest and governing the right way. So I would say that on probably 95% of the issues we have, we are totally on the same page. Now, how we get there sometimes is a little bit different. Funding it is always a fun deal, like where's the money going to come from? I always thought that it would be nice if you could just tap a magic wand and it would drop out of the sky, but we know where it comes from. It comes from companies that are being profitable. It comes from working men and women around this country who part of their paycheck goes in to fund all these different programs that we have. So building a robust economy, we all agree on. Making sure that the American people have the standard of living that they deserve and that they worked hard to get to is something we all agree on. It's now just buffing out the edges and trying to keep it down a little bit, try to tamp it down a little bit.
You're a raving radical.
It depends what we're talking about, but I'm a raving American, let me put it that way.
Do you agree with your House Speaker and the President about reforms need to be made as far as prisons and sentencing?
Absolutely. I'm a lot closer to that. In Butler, as you know, we've had a huge problem with drug addiction and substance abuse. The people that I go to see in the jail, they're not really criminal. They're addicts. And we're filling our jails with people who are addicted. We're not giving them the right kind of treatment they need to get from that situation to back into a normal life. And as you know, you're either a dependent or a codependent. That's all of us all together. And as I said, it's very personal for me. I have watched too many little kids that I coached in midget football league and little league baseball. I've gone to their funerals because of something that they took that killed them. And I think we have to find a way to get there. Our jails are filled, though, with addicts. They're criminals because we define them as criminals. They're addicts because of a chemical dependency they have. We have to find a way to cure that.
Well, you and President Obama must have...
Oh, I agree. Listen, that's one thing. The President and I are in violent agreement on that. I would just suggest that anybody that doesn't watch that, you know, I had a sister that died of pancreatic cancer, and I've also had another situation where somebody said, if you had just beat the living heck out of him, he wouldn't be that way. So I wish you had told me that when my sister was dying, because maybe if I beat the living heck out of her, her cancer would have gone away. It's an illness. It's a sickness. It has to be addressed that way. We have great things that we're trying to do when it comes to that. We just have to get them out, get them funded, and get it tamped down a little bit. These are not bad people. These are people crying for help.
So what we have now, you're saying that the Republicans and Democrats can agree on revitalizing or changing the VA system to make it work better.
Absolutely.
You Republicans and Democrats agree that things need to be done as far as prison sentence reforms. So I presume then you're all in agreement with the Obama administration as far as the EPA and coal restrictions.
You know how I am when it comes to coal and when it comes to the EPA. I'm not against the EPA. I want clean air and I want clean water. But I don't want to sacrifice our economic future and stability. I think we can do both things and achieve it the same way. The attack on coal, and by the way, this is a president who really, he didn't make any false promises. He told us way before he was elected, if you want to continue to produce electricity using coal, you can do it, but we'll bankrupt you. He's actually done that. I think we just shut down over last week, maybe the 213th or 215th coal-powered power producer. We're doing it in a way that's really going to hurt the American people, driving their costs up. We are eliminating the coal country, and we can't do that. This is
we have about 20 seconds. What are you going to do to try to change that?
Well, this is the same thing we're always going to try to do. You know, we do have a little bit of control over the funding of the EPA and some of the agencies. We can take a strict look at that and say, listen, you know what? You're not spending the money the right way. You're not spending it in the best interest of the American people. I've got 435 colleagues that a lot of them feel the same way, and we'll just work towards looking at that funding and try to scale it back so we can keep them from hurting our people.